Hello, thank you for watching this video. What are the best investment properties in the UK? This video will cover this question in detail and provide the key answers relating to investment property in the UK. By the end, you will know exactly what type of property you should consider and how you should select, buy and manage it. Many investors believe that property in the UK is the best form of investment, as it is a tangible asset which they own in a secure country and which grows in value and gives them good rental income. Paper investments such as shares, bonds, derivatives or pension funds are volatile and do not offer such security. In general, a good investment in property needs to deliver on all of these. It needs to be affordable with secure long-term ownership. It should deliver a high rental yield, ideally a gross yield of over 8% of property price per year and net yield of 6% after all costs and expenses. It should deliver good capital growth in value, ideally doubling in value on average every 10 years. It should be easy to select and buy with no serious risks or uncertainties. And it should be easy to manage and maintain for the long term with no hassle. So, what are the best investment properties in the UK? We can answer this question in two parts. Firstly, we need to consider the property itself in terms of its price category, the type of property, its location in the UK, and its condition and status. Then, in the second part, we need to consider the best ways in which to search and choose the specific property, how best to buy it to ensure you legally own it, and the best management method to select in order to manage and maintain it so that it delivers good rental income and no long-term problems. This second part is especially important for buyers who are not local, for example those living in London or overseas. Regarding the property itself, we are going to consider four key factors that will determine the best property for investment in the UK. The first question relates to the best price category. We will explain why low-cost property is better than higher-priced property. If the investment budget is larger, we will also explain why it is far better to buy multiple lower-cost properties than one expensive property for the same budget. The second question relates to the best type of property. We will explain why residential houses are better than apartments, student pods, commercial or other forms of property. The third question relates to the best locations for investment. We will show why towns in the north of England, including the northwest and the northeast, are actually better locations for investment than London or the south. And the final question relates to the condition and status of property. We will explain why for most investors, properties that are pre-renovated, guaranteed and already rented out are better than those that are not. We explain how such properties seem more expensive but actually cost less overall when you take everything into account. Let's talk about the first criterion, which is price category, and why low-cost properties are better. By low cost in the UK, we generally mean between £60,000 to £70,000. Firstly, rental demand in the UK is at the lower end of the market. This is especially so outside of London and the major cities. Thus, the percentage rental yields are much higher on low-cost properties. A property costing £60,000 will deliver 8% gross yield, whereas a property costing over £180,000 will deliver more rent, but as a percentage, the rental yield is much lower at only 4%. Thus, for a total budget of £180,000, rather than buying one property, you should get 3 lower cost properties, and these would in total deliver double the rent of the one expensive property. Secondly, lower cost properties are lower risk. Whilst over the long term properties grow in value, it is possible for property prices to fall over the short term, for example during a recession. However, lower cost properties, which are already at rock bottom prices, are likely to fall less than more expensive properties, as there is always demand at the lower end of the market, and such demand increases in a recession when everyone is cost cutting. Also, lower cost properties would allow investors with higher budgets to buy multiple low cost properties, and these could be purchased in different areas, and this will also reduce risks due to the diversification. Thus all the eggs are not in one basket. Thirdly, low cost properties are affordable. That means you do not need to have the risks or the costs of a mortgage. Remember, buy-to-let mortgages in the UK are unregulated and high risk. Your rights are not the same as a mortgage on the property you live in. Instead of getting a mortgage, many investors use their rental income and their own savings to gradually increase their equity by buying an additional low-cost property every 2 to 3 years without any risk or interest costs. This is a far better way of investing than getting a mortgage. The message from this slide is that low-cost properties are better for investment, and the best price point is between £60,000 to £70,000. You should not pay more than £80,000 for investment property. Now, many investors do have higher budgets, for example £180,000, in which case it would be better to buy 3 low-cost properties than 1 expensive property. The second criterion relates to the type of property, and this slide explains why residential houses are better than apartments, student pods or other forms of property. Demand for commercial and retail property is falling, and in our view such properties are high risk due to the business rates, which still have to be paid by the owner if property is vacant. In such cases, commercial properties can end up being liabilities. Residential property, which consists mainly of houses and apartments, is better. When it comes to comparing houses with apartments, there are 3 reasons why houses are better. Firstly, houses have full ownership, freehold or 999 years, that's almost 1,000 years ownership with nominal £1 per year ground rent, which for practical purposes is treated like freehold. In the case of apartments though, most of these are 99 years or 125 years leasehold. Secondly, houses have no service charges or hidden costs. Apartments are located in buildings that have running costs and need maintenance, and there are service charges payable to the building management company, in addition to high levels of ground rent payable to the freeholder. Such hidden charges on apartments reduce net rent income, and these charges can increase at regular intervals in the future. Thirdly, houses deliver better capital growth than apartments. The track record for houses over the past 60 years is that they have on average doubled in value every 9 to 10 years. Capital growth on apartments is less due to the terms in the leases, and certain student pods actually go down in value as there is no resale market. Thus the message from this slide is that residential houses are better than apartments. Now, most houses in the UK are old, with 80% being over 80 years old. Older houses can in fact be better and are more solidly built with real stone and natural slate, and can paradoxically be longer lasting than newer houses. The only type of houses that are low cost, priced at around £60,000 to £70,000, are terraced houses such as these. Semi-detached and detached houses are more expensive and are thus not suited to investment. A typical terraced house in the UK is located in streets such as these, where all of the houses are in one row with free street parking in front. As you enter, there is a lounge and a dining kitchen. Larger houses have 2 lounges, which can sometimes be joined together as an open plan, and there is usually an extension kitchen. Most have a rear yard leading to the back street. Upstairs are 2 or 3 bedrooms. There's also a 3-piece family bathroom. 60% of the population of the UK live in small houses such as these. About 40% are in the rental market and 60% are owner-occupiers. The third criterion is location. Towns in the north of England are better for investment than London or the south due to these 3 reasons. Firstly, there is better capital growth. After a period of recession, the northern towns in the northwest and the northeast are now booming economically, with falling unemployment, increasing population and rising housing demand. Prices are set to double in the next 10 years and investors are switching from the south to the north. Secondly, houses in the northern towns are affordable, and this is the only area where you can still purchase full 2-bed houses for just £60,000. In other locations, prices are much higher. Thirdly, rental yields in the northwest and the northeast are higher. There is a culture of rental amongst working class families and couples, and there's good rental demand at the lower end of the market. This map of the UK shows the average percentage rental yields in all regions of the UK. You can see that gross rental yield near London is only 3% because property prices there are very high, whereas in the northwest and the northeast it is around 8%. One additional point about location relates to HMOs, or houses in multiple occupation, whereby each room of the house is rented out separately. Such systems can give higher gross yields, but they do have higher management costs and are only in demand in major cities such as London. Elsewhere, the demand is not high and it is far better to rent the whole property to one family. The final criterion for selecting the best property for investment is the condition of the property. Properties that are pre-renovated to a good standard, guaranteed and already rented out to good tenants are better, as you start generating income immediately and have no additional costs. Some investors think it is better to buy a run-down property because it will cost less, then renovate and rent out the property. Now this can be a good strategy in areas of the country where property prices are high and renovation costs are only a small percentage of the property price, areas such as London. In lower cost areas, unless you have very efficient systems for renovation and renting out, this can be a major cost and could be as much as 50% of the property price. So in our view, for most buyers, properties that are already renovated and rented out will cost less overall. If such properties come with a package or guarantee whereby all structural issues and repairs are fully covered, then this is an additional bonus and allows investors to buy with confidence. One other point to cover is that some customers are not sure if they need the property purely for investment or for possible own use in the future. Our strong advice is that you should treat the purchase as purely for investment, as your future needs will always change. Our experience is that whilst clients can use their own properties, they almost never do this. Instead, if they require own use in the future, they rent something that is suitable for their needs at that time, near to their friends and relatives, and they use the rental income from their investment property to pay the rent on their own use property. This is easier, gives them more flexibility, and keeps their options open. The same applies if you need an own use property for holiday accommodation or for children when they are studying at university. It is best to rent yourself if and when you need the property for own use. So when buying for investment, you should purchase purely with investment criteria in mind. So in summary, the best investment properties are low cost, terraced houses located in the north and are those that are pre-renovated, guaranteed and already rented out. A good example is this small 2-bed house in Lancashire in the northwest under 56,000, or this large 2-bed terraced house for 64,000 located in the northeast town of Stockton near Middlesbrough. Both of these are renovated, guaranteed and rented out and are very good examples of the best properties for investment in the UK. Please continue watching this video. Video 2 will now cover the best methods to search, buy and manage investment properties in the UK. The first question relates to the property search process. What is the best way to search and choose the specific investment property? We will explain why the 2-stage reserve and select method is best. It allows you to reserve a type of property according to your budget and then select a specific property depending on your preferences from a categorized and rated list, all of which are very similar in terms of investment return. The second question relates to the buying process. What is the best way to legally acquire and buy the agreed property? We explain why the facilitated buying process that is pre-agreed at fixed costs with legal formalities completed properly on your behalf provides more certainty, speed and convenience. The third question relates to the management method. What is the best way to manage and maintain the purchased property? We explain why the net guaranteed rent system is better than using traditional letting agents and how this system delivers overall better net income and long-term peace of mind. Let's talk first about the best method to search for and choose the specific property. The traditional open market search method is to search and view a large number of properties on website portals and with various estate agents. Whilst this provides a wider range, there are too many factors relating to location and the local tenant base which are impossible for the non-local investor to fully take into account. Two properties that are at the same price may vary hugely in terms of overall investment returns, rental income and future resale value. Similar looking properties on the same street may vary greatly in price depending on their internal condition and rental status. Thus, it is not easy to select the specific property and there is more uncertainty and risk. The 2-stage reserve and select process is better and easier. Local experts assess and categorize properties into different categories or types to make the process easier. They may use a number of criteria such as costs, size, community, location, and most importantly rental yield and future investment return and value. Within each category, the price and guaranteed rent is the same. Thus, investors can easily use the 2-stage process to choose the specific property. Firstly, they can reserve the category of property that best fits their budget and desired rental income. For example, this H2 type highlighted here, as this may meet their budget. Then at the second stage, they can review a number of properties within that same category and select any one depending on their own personal preferences for location, looks and other criteria, with the knowledge that no matter which they select, the overall investment return, rent and future value is likely to be the same. So the risks of selecting a poor specific property is minimized. They could select any from the 10 shown here and they will be okay. In this selection process, depending on demand, there may be a gap of a few weeks between stage 1 and stage 2. Now let's talk about the buying process to legally acquire the agreed property. The traditional buying process does involve a lot of uncertainty, as the seller could pull out of the sale at any time before exchange of contracts. Furthermore, the additional costs of purchase are unknown and can vary greatly. The timeline is not fixed. Investors also need to find a suitable solicitor with local knowledge that does not make the process difficult and long-winded, and have to attend personally themselves for the legal formalities. On the other hand, the facilitated buying process means that there is an upfront reservation agreement where the security of the legal transaction can be guaranteed, and all procedures, costs and timings are pre-agreed and fixed. The buyer is kept updated and does not need to attend personally. All parties follow the agreement and legal formalities can be completed properly on behalf of the buyer. Recommended local external solicitors who are familiar with the types of properties act for the buyer, and the process is typically 4 times quicker. The buyer is kept informed and receives all of the purchase summaries and the ownership documents after completion. So the facilitated buying process is best as it provides more certainty, speed and convenience. Finally, what is the best way to manage and maintain the purchased property? The net guaranteed rent system is better and provides higher rent than using traditional letting agents. Traditional letting agents may show a higher gross rent, but the net rent you actually get is lower because of many reasons. The rent is not guaranteed and is not paid if the property is vacant or if the tenant does not pay. Estate agents charge management fees, and all costs for repairs, maintenance, tenant damage and reletting costs are deducted from the rent. Estate agents will not take over all of the liabilities of the landlord, and such an arrangement is not really suitable for owners who are not local. With the net guaranteed rent system, the rent is guaranteed, and even if tenants are not paying or if property is vacant. There are no management fees. There are no property repairs and maintenance costs. The properties are fully maintained as part of this system at no cost to the owner. There are no other costs such as gas certificates or costs relating to tenant damage or eviction. The owner can be a true passive owner and all landlord liabilities and responsibilities are taken care of at no extra cost. The net guaranteed rent system gives owners a fixed rent which is typically 6% of the property price. And this may be guaranteed for a minimum period, for example 3 years, after which it can be renewed each year under the same system, giving owners long-term peace of mind. So in summary, when it comes to the best method to select, buy and manage investment properties, use the reserve and select method to choose the specific property. Use the facilitated buying process to get legal ownership. Use the net guaranteed rent system to manage and maintain your property for the long term. Please continue watching the next video, video 3, about our company and why you should use our services to acquire and manage your investment property. It explains who we are, what we do, and how we are able to offer you the best prices in the UK and still be profitable. Find UK and our partner companies, which you can see listed here in our main reception area, are part of a large family group of businesses that have been selling low-cost investment properties for the past 12 years. And as a family group, we have been established here at this site for the past 30 years. In this video, we will cover 5 reasons why investors should use Find UK Property. We will show you how we offer the best investment properties in the UK. Explain our experience, reputation and service. Provide details of all of our accreditations. Explain how we are able to offer the lowest prices in the UK and still be profitable. And you can see what other people say about us, including our customers and the BBC. Find UK do deliver the best investment properties in the UK because our properties meet all of the criteria recommended in the previous videos. We acquire low-cost terrace houses in the northwest and the northeast. All of the properties we sell are pre-renovated, guaranteed and rented out. We offer the reserve and select search method to choose the specific property that is right for you, and we use the facilitated buying process to get the selected property legally transferred to you. And we continue to manage and maintain the property under the net guaranteed rent system. Good examples of our properties are this 2-bedroom house in the northwest in Blackburn, Lancashire for under £60,000, or this large 3-bed house in the northeast in Middlesbrough, Teesside for just £70,000. Both of these are pre-renovated, guaranteed and rented out, and are good examples of the best investment properties in the UK. We have extensive experience with such properties. Over many years we have purchased, renovated, rented out and resold over 1,000 such houses, which we continue to manage, and currently we are very busy processing and selling about 30 properties each month. About 60% of our new sales every month are linked to our existing clients. They are either buying more and becoming multiple property owners, or recommending us to their family, friends or contacts. Many of our clients are passive investors who are not local and want us to do everything for them. They need us to act as the landlord and take on board all of the landlord liabilities, which normal letting agents are unable to do. Our clients include investors from London and the South, UK expats living and working abroad, and overseas nationals who have some connection with the UK. If you fall into one of these categories, you will appreciate our services, as these have been developed for clients like you. We are fully accredited and are members of the Property Ombudsman Scheme, the National Association of Estate Agents, and our lettings business Rent UK are members of ALA, the Association of UK Letting Agents. We follow the Trading Standards Approved Code and are registered with the UK Information Commissioner so that any ID information provided to us is kept secure and confidential. Our staff are also trained in providing tax services, and we are an official HMRC tax agent. Customers can have the confidence that they will be dealing with a reputable company that has undertaken to treat them fairly and provide excellent customer service for the long term. Overall, we offer the lowest prices in the UK. Whilst you may see properties advertised on websites or with other estate agents at lower prices, those are not pre-renovated, guaranteed or rented out to good tenants, and do not come with a net guaranteed rent system. When you take everything into account, the overall price you pay for our properties is less than the open market. This is shown in detail on the property markets page of our website. All of these costs and services are included as standard with our properties, whereas they cost extra with other agents. So in total, our prices are lower. We work very hard to buy well, try to be very efficient and save costs at every step in the renovation, letting and maintenance processes so that we can be profitable but still deliver the lowest price overall to our customers. We also offer higher net rent when compared with traditional letting agents. Traditional agents show a higher gross rent, but when deductions are made for all of these costs, the net rent you get is lower than with Find UK Property. Furthermore, our rent is guaranteed, giving you certainty of income and peace of mind. You can see detailed testimonials from existing long-standing customers on the testimonials page of our website. All of these clients have been with us for over 4 years, and many are multiple property owners and have also recommended their friends and relatives to us. You can get further information on who we are and how we work by watching our company feature on several episodes of the BBC television programme BBC Homes Under the Hammer. This programme is the most popular property buying programme in the UK, with regular episodes on mainstream television for the past 15 years. New episodes are viewed by about 2 million people almost every day. Each episode shows how we acquire the properties and then renovate them to a good standard so that they can be easily rented to good tenants. The BBC followed our progress from initial assessment to full renovation and then valuation by independent estate agents. The BBC liked our all-inclusive model of acquiring, renovating, renting out, reselling and managing such investment properties with full guarantees, and has featured us on 3 full-length episodes over the past 3 years. You can get all of the BBC video links by visiting our website and completing any inquiry form. In summary, you should use Find UK Property to buy your investment property because of all of these reasons which we have discussed in this video. We offer the best investment properties at the lowest prices and are fully accredited and experienced family business that provides excellent customer service. Please continue watching the next video, video 4, about all of the practical steps involved in selecting and acquiring an investment property from us. The first step, once you have reviewed the information on our website, is to complete any of the inquiry forms. Simply click the brochure link, enter your email, and complete the information about your requirements, and then click Send. You can read the information on the thank you page. You will also get an email with further information and all of the links to the BBC videos. Check your junk or spam folder, as often emails go there. One of our team will also call you to answer any further questions and discuss your requirements, timeline and any possible visit. Once you decide to progress with your inquiry, we will need to follow the UK AML regulations to identify you. You can provide your passport copy and address ID, and these will be kept confidential and secure. Without this basic ID information, we cannot legally progress any further. If there are joint buyers, for example husband and wife, then we need passport copies of both. You can tell us your provisional requirements, which can be amended later, and we can email you a draft reservation agreement and full terms of any possible purchase. For example, a Type 2 house at 59,999. You will not need to sign anything. This is just for your information so that you can see the full terms before you decide to arrange a visit or progress with your inquiry. Reading this beforehand will also enable you to ask the right questions at your visit. Many of our clients make a visit before they make any reservation. It is best to let us know as soon as possible if you wish to do this, and your preferred timeline and dates. A visit is not essential and you can also make it later, but we do encourage clients to make a visit at some time. Due to high demand for visits, we will need to book this in advance. The visit normally lasts about 3 hours and we can collect you from your hotel or the train station. If travelling up from London, it is best to book a train ticket online and catch the London Euston to Preston train, which takes just over 2 hours. And we can collect you from Preston station and bring you to our offices. We will show you our operations, the different areas and communities where we have our properties, and also the different types or categories of properties. The visit is an information gathering exercise and will allow you to confirm everything you have seen in this video and the website, and allow you to decide which category of property you may like to reserve. After the visit, we will drop you off at your hotel or the train station for your return journey home. After the visit, if clients are happy to proceed, they follow the reserve and select process to select the specific investment property. In the first stage, clients make a reservation for a category or type of property. For example, type H2, which are standard 2-bed houses at just under 60,000 and deliver 3,600 net guaranteed rent per year. The reservation is made by signing the reservation agreement and emailing the signed agreement to us and making the reservation payment, which is 10% of the property price plus 999 total purchase costs, including all solicitor and land registry fees. These funds remain in the client account until property transfer. We will email back the company's signed agreement and reservation payment receipts, and also ask clients to provide further ID forms in readiness for property purchase. The category that is reserved can be amended later by the client at the time of specific property selection. Due to high demand, the second stage of the reserve and select process is normally a few weeks later, and we prioritize by reservation date order. So the sooner you reserve, the sooner you can select. Clients are emailed 8 to 10 specific houses of the type reserved with a spec sheet on each house, including details, pictures and location maps. All of the houses will be very similar and meet the same minimum specification for that category, including the same guaranteed rent and same likely future investment return and values. So clients could select any and they will be fine. Clients take their personal preferences for property looks, location and other factors into account and select a specific property of their own choice, with the knowledge that any they select will be guaranteed, renovated, rented out and deliver the same overall investment returns. So the risks related to selecting a property are removed. Sometimes, due to high demand, clients may select a property that is still under renovation. In such a case, as per the agreement, we guarantee to complete the renovation and renting out and provide full pictures after renovation. After selection, they can, if they wish, also visit again to view the selected property or rely on the pictures and street views, and can also change their selection. Once they are 100% happy with the selected property, it is then allocated to them and we proceed to the next step. Clients use the facilitated buying method to get the selected property legally transferred to them. The security of the legal transaction is guaranteed in the reservation agreement, and a firm of local independent solicitors act for the client to ensure purchase completion and registration at the land registry under the owner's name. We oversee the process and keep you updated, so you do not need to do anything. Prior to purchase completion, clients make the final payment, and as per AML requirements, provide 3 months of bank statements of the account from which the payment is made, so solicitors can see that the funds have come from their own bank account. The purchase is completed by the solicitors about 4 weeks after specific property selection, and they provide a purchase completion summary. At this point, the client becomes the legal owner of the property. After purchase completion, the solicitors proceed to register the property at the land registry and provide a registration summary and the official land registry title documents. This is normally another 4 to 6 weeks after completion. Your ownership can also be checked directly with the land registry, which maintains an online register. After completion, we ask you to provide your bank details for rent payments on a specified form and set you up for regular rent payments. The rent starts 1 month after your final payment, irrespective of the date of purchase completion, and accumulates in the client account. It is paid into your own bank account in the UK or abroad at the end of each calendar quarter, that is 31st March, 30th of June, 30th September and 31st December. For clients not resident in the UK, we also make an application to HMRC on your behalf to get a non-resident reference number. Once we receive this number, the rent can be paid without deduction of any tax. In such cases, the first rent payment may be delayed until we get the reference number from HMRC. We also fully insure the property on your behalf, and the costs of this are covered in the purchase costs. We continue to manage and maintain your property under the net guaranteed rent system. In this system, we are effectively your tenants and agree to give you a regular guaranteed rent. All issues relating to the property, including all repairs, tenant issues or any other problems, are dealt with by us. As your name will be at the land registry as owner, you may sometimes receive correspondence from local authorities or others. We will have copies of these already, but you can scan anything to us and we will deal with it at no cost to you. After 3 years, as default, we continue as per the terms of the net guaranteed rent system, and it gets renewed each year unless you cancel with 6 months notice. We have clients who have been on this system for over 10 years. Guaranteed rents are reviewed each year, and over the long term we would expect net rent to increase in line with the market. For clients who are not resident in the UK, we can also help you set up a simple UK will and provide reference letters and ownership evidence for you to apply for a non-resident UK bank account in case you wish to keep your rental income in the UK. Many of our clients also use our optional tax filing service. Even though no income tax is payable if your total UK income is less than £12,500 per person per year, you still have to file an annual tax return if you own any investment property in the UK. We can help you do this on your behalf. So in summary, these are all of the practical steps involved, and you can get started now simply by completing the inquiry form and then later providing your ID information. Thank you once again for watching this video, and please do contact us if you need any further information.